And hello to all my Leo friends, I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free Psychic Tarot reading for June 2023. Now today they have dialed up for my great Leos, a storyline spread. This is going to be a special storyline spread though, because it's going to be all about the work corner stuff. They want to focus on work. Work is a huge deal for Leos in the month of June, and we're going to break this down into multiple stories. That's the best part about the storyline spread, is it's a scattershot across the entire sign of Leo, telling different stories in here. It's like 3, 4, or 5. It allows me to be very accurate because it's like a bunch of mini readings all in one. We're going to find the story in here that is right for you. I've had people tell me sometimes multiple stories do and will resonate with them. And that's okay if it does, but at the end of the day, our goal is to find the story that is all about your work corner, Leo. And they've asked that I conclude your reading with a very interesting one. We're doing a lot of chakra scrubs this month, and Leo is part of this group. So chakra scrub is a spiritual health look through. We're going to look through your 7 chakras, 1 through 7, see which ones are kicking good, which ones we can get kicking a little bit better, and get you in a better spiritual health state for June. Also going to conclude your reading with the rune stone, and that'll bracket us off and tie together this nice little project that we're going to call June 2023. The cards are already shuffled, guys. I do that ahead of time to save us all a bunch of time, and now I'm going to bring you in so you can watch. I like to share my table with you and show you what I got going on here. And we are live and recording. What I'm doing now, Leo, these are my ritual cuts, basically cutting each deck into thirds, putting them back together in a separate order. That satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. It's the same procedure for personal private reading, so it's just like you're here with me now. And here we go with your storyline spread, all about that work corner. And any storyline spread starts with 5 cards, regardless of what it's about. So these are your core 5 cards, and arguably the most important of your spread. That's actually going to be our end. It's going to be a shorter story. I know that because this girl right here is looking back this way, facing this way, so it brackets me off like that. That's my stop order from Spirit. We do have 2 inverted, not enough to matter now. First thing I need to do is get my pairings together for the stories. We have... It's going to look like this. There's 3 stories. It's going to look 1, 2, and 3. This third one's going to be a much larger one than the rest. As you notice, probably I have a bunch of court cards, a bunch of people cards. I need to first see if they're talking about the energy of the person or we're using the energetic definition of the card. This one, they say a person by giving me another court card. Now let's describe what's going on there. And now we have that. Over here, are they talking about a person here? They say no, but we're going to leave that on the table. Even though the Empress is a person, it's not a court card, so that stays just like it is. And then down here we have a knight. So is this a person? And they say no. That's going to stay too for the spread. And that's it there. I got 2 pip cards at the end. I'm going to do 1 card on top of them to describe it, which happens to be another person. So I got to do 1 more check to see if a discard to see if that's a person. They say yes. So we do have a couple people that are coming up in your spread that we are going to discuss. Now I do need an Oracle Angel card for every single story. Let's go here first. That'll stay inverted for the moment. That one's all set. And then over here, and in case any of this gets blocked out of your screen, I'll move the camera around in a minute to show you. So real quick, checking my inverts. We got 1 here, 2, not enough to matter there, not enough to matter there, actually none there. Nice and clean. Over here we have 3 out of 4 blocked. I'm going to do a discard to see if Spirit wants to upright the whole thing, and they say yes. The order needs to stay the same. Very important in tarot to do so. So that's going to look like this now with that guy. So now all the card work is done, guys. It's just a matter of showing you. So I'm going to yank this off and do that. There's story 1. Story 1. Story 2. We're going to go to this little guy. We're going to save that big one for last, guys. We're going to do the Hail Mary hoorah last. There's story 2. Keep in mind this is all about work. And there's story 3, the big one. I'm going to leave it on here for just a minute so you can take all that in. We got a lot of moving parts there. Can't wait to get there and talk about that. Okay, guys, here we go. Let's get started, Leo. First thing I need to tell you that the work corner is a huge place in anybody's life. It's massive. It's not just the job in your work. For most people, it is. But it's a much bigger corner because it can be a bunch of different things. Work, business, enterprise, area of study, collegiate courses, retirement if you're of that age, entrepreneurship, learning new things, hobbies or interests. So there you go, a bunch of different things. Whatever you got going on there that would describe you here, that's what they're talking about somewhere in this spread. Now let's figure out what story's for you. Story 1 is where they talked about a person. I got a person coming in. Usually this person is not you. Otherwise, because the story's already about you. So why do they need to say you twice, right? So this is a person. Now, what does this person have to do with your story? Well, they give me a knight, first of all, so that gives me a little bit of help with the age range. Usually this is somebody who's 25 to 35, younger to middle age, but not too young and not too old. Now, this is a little of a sketchy area here because I've had younger cards come up with older people before. It's all about energy. So sometimes you can be a 70-year-old person and have the energy of a 20-year-old. And sometimes you can be an 18-year-old person and have the energy of, somebody who's 40, be very mature, right? So we have a lot of different flux in here, but for the most part, it's 25 to 35 energetically. So keep that in mind too. This is also your attachment card. So this is what they're bringing in to attach to. So if you work with somebody who fits into this category, this may be your story, but let's push a little further and see. What they show next is peaceful relaxation. Maybe this is you, maybe this is them taking a vacation, because keep in mind we did bring in another person for a reason. So what is this about? I'm not sure of the correlation, but they bring in peaceful relaxation. Maybe this person really helps you get to a place of peace. Maybe they really help you with work. Maybe you really help them too, and you both find peace. But this is a card that I really love talking about. I don't get a chance to do it very much, but this is pictured as somebody who's lying on their back in a church. And in the old deck, in the traditional deck, we're not using that one today, but this is pictured as a knight who is laying on his back, who has just come back from battle. And what they used to do is they would get a coffin made to their specs just in case they didn't make it back from battle, or in case they were brought back dead, so that everything would be prepared and there'd be nothing that needed to be done in case they didn't make it in the battle. So when they came back alive, they would lay in the coffin in the church, which was kept at the church, and just kind of staring up into the sky and kind of being very, very grateful for the fact that they're not in it dead, that they're very much alive, and very grateful, gratitude. So that is the energy of what's coming up here for work. So it's a very wonderful mix here between you and this person. I'm not sure, again, why they come up here, but they do give us a little hint with clean it up. So this is my Oracle Angel card, and they're saying clean it up. So we just need to, get some things spruced up here a little bit. Does this mean actually clean up? Maybe. Maybe this means you actually got to clean up your workplace. Maybe this means you need to clean up the staff if you're a manager. Cleanup is going to be used in a variety of different ways. That's why context is key in a general reading. If you're looking for, good time to remind you too, if you're looking for messages that are personal, private, specific only to you, I do offer a wide variety of those on my website, scottsagent.com. And here in a general reading, we just do the best we can. And that's why Spirit is breaking this down into 3 stories for my great Leo friends. So if you're not trying to share the bubble energy of Leo with everybody, that is what personal products are great for. Let's get into your story 2, guys. Story 2, Leo. Now here we bring in a king, but they said not the person. So this is basically big money. Big money coming into the workplace. If you have just got a raise, this could be your story here. If you've just got a big chunk of maybe a bonus, something that wasn't there before, nice little promotion or something like that in that work corner. Keep in mind, big spot, right? Big place, work corner is big, a lot of stuff going on there. But that would be your connection to story 2. If that's you here, what they show next is the fertility card with the Empress. So it's saying, there's no limit here. It's like not even the sky's the limit. Like we go out into space, we go out dimensionally, like you can go wherever you want to go here. Checking in very, very good. So don't think that, you've arrived. Spirit is saying, no, you can go much further than where you're at right here, right now. They show that you're blessed with my Oracle Angel card, so not much to really say about that. When all things are checking in so good, just know that you're blessed. Know that you have a wonderful set of circumstances around you, and that the ground is so fertile because not everybody has those opportunities. And going back to the fertile card of the Empress, this is also the card about divine feminine and birth, and basically making things real, to the touch real, because that's what birth is. It's like when the baby actually breathes air and it becomes real, right? In the physical realm. So here we go with that is metaphor or analogy to what is going on in your work corner in story 2. It's saying, birth can be had here. You can birth either new projects, or you can, birth yourself to a higher realm here, a higher place, higher job, higher pay. Like we said, no limitations here whatsoever. Now, before I get into it's a great story. Before I get into your story 3, which is the long one, lots of moving parts there, I do want to tell you about the moon cycle, so we're going to break away to do that. I'm just looking ahead here to see if there's any focus on it. And yes, they say they want you guys to focus on that new moon, so listen for that, because we're going to talk about that here in story 3. Okay guys, it is moon cycle forecast time. We have a pretty simple set of moon cycles for this summer, June and July, and we start getting into some larger lunar events in August. But first, here's the transition to how things are moving, because the new moon is starting to move up. It's already pretty much smack dab in the middle of the month, and the full moon also moving up is right at the beginning of the month. But pretty soon, that full moon is going to drop to the end of the month, and the new moon is going to keep moving up until it's at the beginning of the month. That's happening very quickly. But first, in June, we have the full moon that comes in first, and that hits on June 3rd. This is the best time to get anything out of your life that you don't want there. Whether it's a toxic person that's got to go, whether it's an old habit that you got to kick, whether this is something you got to sell, or maybe a project you got to finish up, all that is best placed under the full moon energy. And that just helps you kind of get that stuff out, get the change to stick. And you don't have to do it on the 3rd either. Just any time right toward the beginning of June is key for that. But don't wait too long, because in the middle of the month, we have that new moon energy that hits on June 18th. And that is the best time to bring new things into your life and to manifest and to bring anything in that you're trying to do, whether it's health related, start something new with health, start a new diet, start a new exercise program. You're trying to attract a new love. Maybe you're trying to attract a new job or a new promotion, or you're just trying to do something new with money. It doesn't matter what it is. Using the new moon energy, it can happen much easier in the middle of the month versus any other time in the month of June. If any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle forecast cheat sheet, and that is available every single month on my website, scottsagent.com, and it kind of shows you a visual aid, little graphic illustration of how these energies move in and out, so you can better utilize positive change, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day, is just making things go a little bit smoother for us. Now, let's get into the gemstone and the new product. Well, there is no new gemstone this month. We're going to take a break. We've just done 5 in a row starting in 2023. Those are all unveiled and available on the website, scottsagent.com, with the write-up sheet, which is very intuitive about what each gemstone does and how it can be properly used, and the new product. Now that I have to tell you about, because we are kicking off the gemstone again in July. It's coming back. We're going to drop a new one in July. But here in June, I have such a big product that I'm unveiling. That's why I decided to step away from the gemstone for a month. So the new product is a combination of actually 2 products. And I've been talking about this for my people for a very long time now. So this won't come as a surprise to everybody. But it's called a My Month Deluxe. It first takes my most popular product that I've ever put together, the My Month product. It talks all about your month, about that 30-day window that's being read for, so it's a nice little batch of divination there, very affordable for your month. The other thing that it's going to be combined with is already a set of 2 readings. It's an angel protection and animal totem package. It's angel protection and it's animal totems all combined in one. So now it's kind of like 3 readings in one we're doing here. It is a huge hit of divination, all in one package, one very affordable package when we kind of bundle it all together. And that product is going to be called a My Month Deluxe. It is available right now on the website, scottsagent.com. And guess what? If you're signed up for the newsletter, you're going to get a free one of these in June. Check your newsletter. It gives you instructions on how to do that. You're going to get a follow-up wonderful coupon for anything you buy after that. And oh my gosh, if you're not signed up for the newsletter, why haven't you? I give my newsletter people, I take great care of them, and I give them a couple free readings every single year just by being signed up to the newsletter. You can sign up for that at the very bottom of any page on scottsagent.com. And now let's get back to your reading. Okay, Leo, I am back, and it is story 3 time. The first thing that they talk about bringing in here to get you to attach to figure out if this story is yours is our Knight of Swords, which is the action card, action of the mind. The mental, the cerebral suit is what Swords is. So when that comes up, they're saying action up here. So you guys have a plan, long story short. You've made decisions. Doesn't mean that you've actually gone through and done it in the reality. But up here, you know what's going on. Very good start. This could be your story here if that makes sense to you. So you've got a plan for what's going on in your work corner. Maybe, hey, I'm going to work at this job another year. Or, hey, I'm going to start get my resume updated. Wherever you're at here, they show you got a plan, so it's very good. Now what they do show is perception needs to be shifted a little bit here. So even though mentally you guys are very sharp with this, with your heart, they're saying not so much. We have some cordage attached to your heart here, maybe missing some people if it's about leaving, or concerned about something like that, or maybe you're just not ready for change yet, and you're looking at all the bad things that could happen versus all the good things that could also happen. Spirit here is saying just look behind you. Look behind you and see all the great things you have that are, at your disposal here. And don't look at the bad, because you're just going to end up attracting more bad if you do that. So it's very much about perception and in your heart chakra there. So even though your mental came in very good, the heart is coming in with a little bit of a struggle here with this decision. And maybe that's why it's not actually real yet. The next thing we show here is kind of the worst is behind you. They show the battle and the war and chaos card next. So that kind of shows that you've kind of been through it here in the work corner. So you've either had a rough go of it, maybe got in a fight with some coworkers, maybe don't like the boss, whatever it is. They showed that this is resolving though. So this is good to see. You know, resolution is always good wherever it pops in at. So that's very nice. And knowing the worst behind you is kind of just a little bit alleviating, right? Next thing we show here is a person. Now this person is a queen, so usually a biological female who they're talking about here. This could be somebody like a boss or a coworker, a wide range of different women coming up, but this is not you. This is somebody external to you. What are they coming up for? Well, first of all, they're inverted, so they're hanging upside down. They're upside down. Why are they upside down? Either they're upset about something, they're unhappy about something. Maybe they don't want you to leave. Maybe it's your friend and they know you're going to leave and they're like, oh man, what am I going to do without you? Something like that. So it might not be a negative thing, but whoever this is, if you can kind of, if I've given you enough here to pinpoint who I'm talking about, they're not happy about something. Long story short there. Or they're just not on board with what your plans are. That could be that too. It could be a bunch of different things, but we have a woman upside down. That's really what I need to let you know. Now, there are new ideas happening in June, guys. Okay, so don't worry if all the ideas, if everything is not organized and your priorities and your plan, if it's not fully organized yet, don't worry, because it will be. June is showing that there is an inspiration month happening, and this came up for a lot of signs, guys. A lot of signs have this inspiration, this divine light bulb going off in your head, new ideas, new ways of doing things. And it, like I said, it congruent through a lot of the signs I've read for. And this is new ways of doing things, not any of the old. This is new ideas, very much in your head. Now they show chop wood next, so they want to remind you here that you got to get to work on this. You got to do the work. You got to put in the time or put in the effort or the energy or whatever it is that they're referring to. You got to do the work. And maybe it's just you have to stay at your current job longer than you want to. You got to do the work to save up till you're at a certain point, or maybe you just got to get a certain amount of years of job experience before you kind of use that experience for what your next step is. So a bunch of different things for different people, but chop wood means basically get to it. Get to work there, guys. So there we go. Now let's grab the rune stone. They're already mixed up. I'm giving one more swirl. And I like to do that while I'm looking at the cards and at your story so I can kind of relate them directly. So your rune stone is going to be this guy right here, which is very nice to see. I mean, we already have kind of talked about it, but this is the rune of protection. We have protection here. So let me just kind of go through the story. Story 1, protection, is basically, the gratitude. You almost don't need the protection there because the situation is just so good. So I think it applies a little less to that one. But as we move into story 2, protection is just saying that you're blessed. And that is probably an angelic kind of push here. So people have your back on the other side. Maybe it's your deceased loved ones. Maybe it's your spirit guides, your guardian angels. Who's to say? But it's coming in very good. You're protected, guys. Do not fret or do not feel like you're not. Okay, and then story 3, protection, is basically they're just trying to get you to change the way you look at things here. Besides that, there's nothing else negative that they show you really worrying about. There's somebody else who's worrying about something, but just remember, guys, as a whole, that you are protected, especially in the month of June. So if you're feeling a little weak, or that there's something not quite right, or that, I wish I felt a little safer about something, this is your reminder from Spirit that you are protected. They have your back. You're good. So let's get into those chakra scrub, guys. I'm counting the cards that I used here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. A little bit too many than I prefer. So I'm going to reshuffle in case Spirit wants to reuse some of these cards in your chakra scrub. So I'm going to cut away while I do that. We'll be right back with your chakra scrub. Okay, Leo, I am back and it is chakra scrub time. The cards have been reshuffled. I'm going to just ritual cut it one final time. Into thirds it goes, back together goes, separate order, and then we're ready for your chakra scrub. I read this, or at least I pull the cards 1 through 7. I may read it and talk about it in a separate order, but here we go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We do have a lot blocked. In fact, we have so many blocked, I'm going to do a discard to see if Spirit wants to keep it that way. They say yes, so we're blocked for a reason. A lot of you guys got some kinked up chakras going on, and I know some of you are thinking kink's a good thing because you think like that, but In this chakra scrub, not so much. We don't want the chakras kinked. We want this energy flowing. We want that kundalini flowing through you, especially in the month of June. So let me grab some extra cards here. Got an oracle right here needed. Got one down here needed. And I believe that's it. Nope, one more. Okay, now what order do I talk about it? It looks like it doesn't really matter. I'm going to start at the bottom actually with number 7, guys. Number 7. 7 is your root chakra. The red chakra. This is your connection to everything. This is the base of the spine, is the location of it in terms of physical. It's on that. It's on the astral plane. It's not on the physical plane, but if it was, that's kind of the representation of it. So base of the spine is what they're talking about here. And they show it's actually, this is, it kind of is a message where it was bad before, but now it's kind of getting better. It shows that it used to be really bound up, but like not going anywhere at all, and now it's getting moving again. So this can be like sexual energy. This can be like connection to everything, being very grounded, very much like at the beach energy, very much into nature, so very well grounded. And in case you feel like you're not grounded, go out into nature, go hug a tree. They call it a tree hugger for a reason. Go out to the beach, get out into nature, do a hike. If you're not around any of that stuff, take a good hot bath. That's water is very, very good for grounding. So there we go there. There's your red. And you can use red as a power color too if this is an area you're trying to improve. They show between worlds, which I already know this is your connection between them from like earth plane realm here. And that's what they're showing. They're showing that this is that you're very much in between. And we just kind of want the spiritual side to be on the spiritual side. And we want the physical to be on the physical. So you guys just got to do a better job. For some reason, there's kind of like a little bit of flux in there. Something is getting through the gasket, so to speak there. So a little bit of root chakra could be improved there with some guided meditation or wearing the color red gemstones, that kind of thing. As we move up from there, number 6 here, now we're getting into your emotional center here. The orange is your emotional center for the chakras. This is located kind of lower stomach. And here they show inaction. They show inaction. I don't know if that means that you're kind of holding back your emotions or if you just feel like you can't let it out right now. I guess it's kind of the different frequencies of the same thing, right? Either way, we need this chakra to be kicking better. So you gotta either find a healthy way to let this out. Don't go ripping your partner's head off. Don't go yelling at your boss, yelling at your parents, your kids, whatever it is here. You gotta let this out in the right way. But we gotta turn this around. We need action there instead of inaction. We gotta open up that orange. And orange is a power color for this. So if your emotions you're having a rough time, rough go of it emotionally, this is what you can do. You can wear the color orange. You can do guided meditations on the orange chakra and that kind of thing. So very important, guys. Your bottoms are important because the energy flows from the bottom up. It resides and it settles in at your root chakra and it kind of goes up from there. So if these other ones are bound up, it can't go to the top. It can't get to your top in general. We have very slow growth here when we hit the yellow, which is your kind of willpower, your exertion of your freedom and free will. This is saying here it's just going slow. Maybe you're not using your willpower as much as you can. So June is a good time to kind of flip that one around. That one's kind of lower energy. I'm not so worried about that one. The other two are very important though. And it may also be kind of letting you know here too that you're not going to have the greatest of willpower in the month of June. So Leos just are going to have to exert the extra energy to will themselves through things. Now here in the heart, they show that there is some work to be done in the heart chakra. The heart chakra is showing that there is something in there that doesn't belong there. So it's got to go. This is like toxicity. We need to get the poison out of there, the cordage that's attached to you from your past, whatever it is affecting your current paradigm. We got to get it out of there. They show truth be told. So they're showing you that you have an open window to take care of this. I don't know if that's just me telling you about it or validating that you need to get this taken care of, but heart chakra is a big one. And a lot of you got to do some inner work on that one. Guided meditation, open that heart chakra up. That is huge. I don't have one on that one yet. One day I will. As we move up from there, guys, now we hit throat. Throat, I do have one, and they show your throat is a little bound up too, and it's probably just because the lower ones are bound up. But this is your expression, the way you express yourself and communicate with other people. If you have an issue with that, I have a guided meditation for that. It's on YouTube. It's on my website, scottsagent.com. I can, you get good headphones, and I walk you through some things that can really improve this area if you're trying to improve there. And the color for there, the power color is kind of a tealish, bluish green that you can really use to your benefit there. Same thing with carry a gemstone, wear that color, that kind of thing. And now here we get your top two. Now this is where things get very interesting because they show that your third eye, which is next, it's number 2 on your chart, third eye is not loving the crown, but the crown is loving the third eye. So it's like, it's a weird relationship going on here. Weird dynamic that we need to get adjusted here. And I feel like the crown is very good. The crown, I'm going to read these together, guys. Crown, your number one, is your connection to the lunar, the solar, the spatial radiation, the higher dimensional realms. It's coming in great for you guys. You guys would be so good at moon cycles this month if you pay attention and utilize that and put that into play. They show here that through your crown, through the energies of space, basically, the outer places, here they show that a lot of great things can be accumulated here, and that this is just, you guys are just naturals here. You're naturally gifted at it, and you can use it for momentum and like destiny things very easily. But for some reason, there's a disconnect when the energy comes in there, when it hits the third eye here. So this is kind of just saying it's disconnected here. It's dislodged, maybe because you don't meditate at all. You know, a lot of people are guilty of that, myself included. I wish I did it more or had the time to do it more than I do. So that is another area that you guys could improve, because the top is so good. The energy is just flowing. It's got to have somewhere to go though. So that is what the Chakra Scrub is very good for looking at. Now, this is available as a personal product as well. If you're like, okay, well, this is interesting, but I want to know about me and not just all of my Leo friends. Well, that's what the personal product, the Health or Chakra Scrub, it is available as a Chakra Scrub just for you. You get to choose which one you want. And that is available on the website, scottsagent.com. And that concludes the reading, guys. It's been a very interesting one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future readings, and have a great June. I know you will.